Okay, here we go. First of all, my humble pronouns to all the elders, they are FOSWLians, the Adhyana Bharati members, and all other distinguished members here. I am a humble student of medicine as well as philosophy till my last breath. So whatever I am going to say is only what I learned from the great teachers, both in medicine and in philosophy. So needless to say, idam na mama means what? This is not mine. Whatever I am submitting to you is not mine. It is a collation and collaborated information that we have from various sources. This is humble appearance, declaration. We go ahead, and my pronouns to Rangamani Amma as well as ML Swamy garu. They are very dear to me, and I am a dear child of both of them. When I visited, I had wonderful time with them. So needless to say, this is an endowment oration. Endowment orations occur once in 6 months in FOSWL Annanagar. One is in March, the other is in September, and I am given the privilege of handling both the endowment lectures by our president, Senior Sarma VS. So my pranams to my brother, Senior Sarmaji, for giving me the opportunity to talk, and also to my co-office bearers, Mr. Narayanan, who is very facilitative in all his conducting the programs, and Sri Anand Kumar Garu for giving me a very sweet introduction about myself, and also the sponsor of the day, B.S. Rao Garu. With these words of introduction, I now go into a very serious mode of understanding what is jhana and trying to see what the elders, the rishis, the seekers, the teachers, the pristine teachings of them we're going to look at. So please concentrate, all of you, because this lecture is on concentration. So please concentrate. So I go with a prayer. Sadasiva Samarambham Vyasa Sankara Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Param Shastram Shariramimansa Devastu Parameshwara Acharya Shankaracharya Santu me Janma Janmani. The power of Dhyana. Who is speaking? There is no speaker here. It is only learning the power of Dhyana from the great rishis. There is no speaker, there is no person who is giving the talk. Everything is the rishis, what they say. With that understanding, let us go here. So I have a few references for you here. Those of you might be interested to read more about that. Volumes and volumes are written about Dhyana. So the Bhagavad Gita itself, the 6th chapter, is called Dhyana Yoga. Yoga is the union with the Almighty, the highest truth. Dhyana Yoga, the yoga with the union with the Almighty through Dhyana. There is a beautiful Shankara Bhashyam, Shankara Bhagavad Pada's Bhashyam on Bhagavad Gita. And some of the teachings today are from the 6th chapter, Shankara Bhashyam. Kathopanishad, one of the very renowned and sublime Upanishads, again Shankara Bhashyam, is very helpful in understanding that. Swamy Tattvavidananda ji, he has given pravachanams, 279 video lectures on Kathopanishad. Some of his teachings find place here. Then we have Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi, Upadesha Sara, very familiar distilled essence of Advaita Vedanta, and he covers in the 4th, to some extent in the 3rd verse, about the Dhyana. And Swamy Tattvavidananda ji again has given pravachanams on Upadesha Sara, about 44 pravachanams. I drew some of the material from his pravachanams. Upadesha Sara by Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi is given as a sort of blessing to all of us by Paramarthananda ji, and his Vishleshanas in English also form part of it. There is one book called Nididhyasana. All of you can see this book. This Nididhyasana book is based on Kathopanishad, and it is written and published by Swamy Tattvavidananda. Some of these sort of ideas which we are discussing are from this book. Again, I wanted to emphasize this point. This presentation is based on pristine teachings of great rishis and thinkers of this land. We are blessed to be part of this particular wonderful Bharat, and then the treasure on which we are sitting, we do not know really, but all of us have to unearth the treasure and live the lives that are taught by us by the great thinkers and rishis. This is an endowment oration. Most of you who have participated in professional meetings, you understand that endowment orations do not entertain any questions and answers. Nonetheless, any doubts in the presentation that you have about the understanding can be clarified, and whatever we are aware, we will try to do that. Any further discussion on one-to-one discussion, deeper discussion on dhyana, please take it up with me, 93-805-2122, and do not entertain anything, personal anecdotes, experiences, meetings with Swamijis, somebody said about dhyana like this, all those things we will refrain for want of time and for brevity and for convenience of all the members. If you can, you may suggest any other references also in the chat box which you have come across, which you feel that they will be very useful in understanding dhyana. Please type in the chat box any references that you have got. So this is to say how we are going to go about. Okay. Now, what is the etymology and meaning of the word dhyana? There is a question already. What is dhyana? Is it meditation? The word meditation, I carefully avoided in this particular talk because meditation is a very, very narrow term to convey the meaning of what is dhyana. With dhyana or dhyana in Sanskrit is contemplation, reflection, profound, abstract meditation. Abstract means there's nothing in the mind. The mind is very completely empty, abstract meditation. The root, also called in Sanskrit words, we have what is called a dhatu, or the root of the word. The root is dhyai, D-H-Y-A-I. In Tamil, we have ta and na. There are four tas. The first, second, third, and the fourth one is the DH letter. Dhai, dhai chintayam. The variant of dhai is dhya. From there, dhyana has come. You all may be knowing buddhi is also called dhi. Dhi also is related word to dhya and dhyai. Dhi is buddhi or intellect. A derivative of that dhi is dhyana because it happens in the mind. So when in the process of dhyana, there will be three things will be there. What are the three things? Dhyata means the one who is doing the dhyana. Then there is what is called the dhyayam. Dhyayam means what is being meditated or contemplated or reflected or what is being concentrated. That is the dhyayam. And the process is called the dhyana. Dhyata, dhyayam, and dhyana. This is called triputi, the threefold. Everywhere it will be there. Jnata, jnayam, jnanam, to know. Here we are doing dhyanam, so it is dhyata, dhyayam, dhyanam, the threefold triputi. So what will happen? The dhyata, dhyayam, dhyanam, our concentration will be how the dhyata should be.
I'm a super senior citizen.
Sorry, Sarma ji, you cannot open your mic when I am talking. Kindly refrain from opening the mics. I just cannot have any talk in between. Dhyata, dhyayam, and dhyanam. So we will try to learn something about the dhyana, something about the dhyayam, something about the dhyata also. Okay. Is the definition? Dhyana is sustained attention. A sustained attention is dhyana, application of mind to the chosen point of concentration and contemplating, reflecting on whatever dharana or the focus point is. So, for example, I give you a very worldly example. A student is preoccupied with appearing for IIT examination. So, what will be his sustained attention? It will be on the subject that he is studying. His mind is preoccupied and totally concentrating to the point of that he doesn't even bother about his food and other things, and he only concentrates on that. That is dhyana. Dhyana does not mean only about the God. Dhyana means what? Dhyana is sustained attention of the mind, application of the mind on the chosen topic, on the chosen point of concentration, and contemplating and reflecting on whatever dharana has been focused. For example, when somebody is building a house, his entire focus of dhyana always is on how to build the house, how is the plan and all that. Somebody is getting the daughter or granddaughter married, the entire focus of dhyana is on that. That is a general, broader understanding. Dhyana is specifically, it is a non-judgmental, non-presumptuous. There aren't many pre-drawn conclusions that it will be like this, I have to do like this. It's an open thing. Dhyana is contemplating on an idea or a concept or an ideology or an idol or a nirakara rupa in all its aspects, forms, consequences. Most important part is uninterrupted train of thought and flow of the awareness. We have awareness in us. So, for example, I look at the book. I am aware about the awareness. Likewise, an uninterrupted train of thought and flow. What happens? I have a book, I have a mobile phone. If my thought shifts from one to another, then it is not dhyana. Dhyana means that you have to be aware of a particular thing and then uninterrupted train of thought flow of the awareness is dhyana. You have a very broader meaning, then we will bring it down to philosophical understanding of what is dhyana. Purpose of dhyana and usage. It is a part of self-directed awareness. What is this awareness? Awareness about who am I. Normally, if you ask me, who are you? My answer will be, I am so and so, I am a doctor, actor, this, that, all that will say so many qualifications. They have listed. That is nothing. They come and go. They are only with the body. Here, we are self-directed awareness and unifying process to realize the Atman or the self within, one's own relationship, not only with the self within, but the self in all the living beings, the Atman in all the living beings, and ultimately connect it with the super reality or supreme reality or supreme consciousness. So what do you do in dhyana? Now dhyana, I concentrate for self-directed awareness of myself, who am I, and understand the same self exists in everyone else, all the living beings, not only the human beings, all the creatures, all the pranis, and ultimate reality connecting with the reality. In the Vedas, we have got several layers or several parts. Some part is called Aranyaka, some parts are called Samhita, some are called the Brahmanas, some are called the Upanishads. So we see the reference to this dhyana in the Aranyaka and the Brahmana layers of the Vedas, and also in the Upanishads, and of course in the Brahma Sutras, which are the highest philosophical texts, for which Vedavyasa has penned the Brahma Sutras, and Shankara Bhagavad has given the Bhashyam. The most acclaimed work of Shankara Bhagavad is Brahma Sutra Bhashya. Here, in this context of higher learning, self-directed awareness, the dhyana comes in the Aranyaka, Brahmana, Upanishad, contemplation, reflection, meditation, and an important part of self-awareness process. Here we cannot but mention Patanjali Maharishi, so Yoga Sutras. There also he has got the word dhyana. But we are not going into Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, the Ashtanga Yoga and the dhyana in that, because that is very different from the Advaitins viewpoint of dhyana. Nonetheless, there are some similarities, and we drew a lot of inspiration from the teachings of Patanjali Maharishi. And I will show you a slide and what are the Ashtanga Yogas of Patanjali's this one. Now, in Vedanta, if you want to understand yourself, the awareness of your one's own self, and through that the ultimate reality, you have three things. One is called the Sravana. Sravana is listening by normal understanding, but it is not just that. Sravana is to acquire the content knowledge on the subject. So if I am doing Sravana of medicine, I have to read the books, I have to talk to the teachers, I have to see videos, I have to attend seminars. All that comes under Sravana. Likewise, here in Vedanta, we acquire the content knowledge of the Brahman, of the world, and of the Jiva. Jiva, Deva, Jagat. To acquire the content knowledge of that and to say they are not different, and the one we require Jiva is same as the Deva or the Brahman, and Jagat is only a reflection or mithya of this. So for that, the Sravana is required. Then what do you do after the Sravana? Then you have to reflect and then deeply think about the truth or the reality that we learn, which is called the Manana. Sravana and the Manana. Now comes the word Nididhyasana. The first Di is the third letter in the Tamil alphabet, Tana. The second Di, Dhyana, is the fourth letter in the Tamil alphabet. Nididhyasana. To put that into practice and application. Simply speaking, to summarize, what is the reality that is repeatedly emphasized by the scriptures? To learn that content knowledge is Sravana. Manana, is that reality true to my best intellectual understanding? I have read about the reality in this book. Let us say that reality is it appeal to my consciousness, to my mind, to my intellectual understanding. I can get that only by reflecting on that. And finally, Nididhyasana. Can I put that truth into practice and live that reality? That is the Dhyana or the Nididhyasana. The other word, Vedantic word for Dhyana is Nididhyasana. For that reason, Dhyana is not simply meditation. Meditation plus something else is Nididhyasana. Okay, what is Nididhyasana? It is pronounced as Nididhyasana, Nididhyasana. Dhyayai, Dhyai, Dhyai Chintayam. Dhyai is the root word Chintayam, to contemplate, to reflect, and to be thoughtful. Dhyatum Ityadidhyasa. Dhyatum Ichadidhyasa. Intense yearning to contemplate is called Dhyatum Ityadidhyasa. There is another word Ni there, the prefix. That Ni is Nitaram. Nitaram means always, entirely, wholly, completely. Nididhyasana is Nitaram Dhyatum Icha Nididhyasa. In the Upanishadic sense, Vedanta, Dhyana is meditation. It is not simple meditation. Dhyana is Nididhyasa. What do you do in the Dhyana? When do you do the Dhyana? The Dhyana is not just 5 minutes prayer before Vigneshwara, Om Gananam Ganapatitam, and then after that say Namaskar. That is not Dhyana. That's only a sort of bhakti or japa or whatever you do. Dhyana is always incessantly concentrating on that higher truth and reflecting on that is Dhyana. How much? And in entirety. Entirely you must contemplate that. And what to contemplate? The eternal truth, the Brahman. Dhyana, Upasana, Bhavana, realization, all these make it true for us. If you have Dhyana and you have Upasana and you have Bhavana in the mind and you realize that makes the reality true for us. We have said, what is the truth? That is the Sravana. Is that truth appeal to my intellect? No. Can I live the truth? That is the realization or the Nididhyasana. Nididhyasana is also sometimes called Abhidhyana. Nididhyasana is also called Abhidhyana in certain contexts. The truth, the universal divine self dwells in everybody's heart. What is the way to experience and recognize the divinity? to turn our attention inward. This is called antarmukha. Bahirmukha, focusing outward into the world. Antarmukha, inward in contemplative meditation. It is deeper concentration of the mind after Dhamma and Sama. These are two words. Dhamma and Sama are Sanskrit words. Dhamma means external indriya restraint. Sama means internal mind and buddhi restraint. Sama and Dhamma are very basic for any dhyana. Dhyana cannot happen, or nididhyasana cannot happen unless you have control over your external environment, indriyas, and the internal mind and other things. Sama and Dhamma. This Dhamma and Shama in the Ashtanga Yoga, they are referred to as Yama and Niyama. Yama is Dhamma, Niyama is Shama there. Okay, that is not an important thing for us. So, first of all, you must have a very controlled indriyas, both externally and internally. Needless to say, one is a prerequisite for the other. I cannot have Dhamma, external restraint, without inner restraint. Likewise, I cannot have inner restraint without having external restraint. There is, in Kaivalya Upanishad, we see this. Manasa dhyanamityeka bhuyam vai prana. Manasa dhyanam ityekam bhuyam vai prana. What does that mean? Manasa, with mind. Dhyanam ityekam bhuyam. Meditate on me as the prana. Who is saying? Paramatma is advising us to meditate on the universal power with the mind. Meditate or reflect or contemplate me as being the prana. What is the word used here? Prana. Prana is not the breath going in and out. Prana is the vital energy which makes you a being, which makes life happen. This is the life principle or vital energy. It's also called Hiranyagarbha Brahma in Vedanta. We use a symbol or a proxy for the dhyana. Why use a symbol? What is a symbol? Suppose I wanted to represent India. What is my symbol? My symbol is my tricolor national flag. So the moment I see the tricolor national flag, I stand up, bow to it, say Namaskar, and Janaganamana is sung. I am silent because symbol tells me about the whole thing about India. Like that, symbol for the proxy for the Almighty, you can have Shiva, you can have Vishnu, you can have Shanmuga, you can have Ganesh, you can have Omkara, any deity you think, any symbol. Symbol is only a symbol. The flag itself doesn't represent a piece of cloth with some colors. It represents the whole Bharat. So the symbol here is symbolic of the Almighty. It's a proxy of the dhyana. This is the Patanjali's Ashtanga Yoga. You can see here, 4 are in the red color and 4 are in the brown color. The red ones are external and the brown ones are the internal. Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dhana, Dhyana, Samadhi. Okay, here this Dhyana and Samadhi together mean Nididhyasana. Okay, Yama is the Dhamma there, Vedanta, Niyama is Shama there, Pratyahara is the Uparati. Like that, there is a sort of correlation between them, which is not the topic of today. So, okay, now there are some external disciplines, there are some internal disciplines which you need to practice in the Ashtanga Yoga, and more or less correlates with the Vedantic concept of sort of attaining to the higher goal. Nididhyasana, you can see in the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, also called the Dhyana Yoga. This tells about the dhyata, how the dhyata or the person who is doing the dhyana should conduct himself for the dhyana. I told you, dhyata, dhyanam, and dhyayam. The dhyata part is very well explained in the following verses. These are the yogi yungitam satatam atmanam rahasistitah ekaki yata chittatma nirashir aparigraha. Satatam Atmanam Rahasi Stitaha. Himself seated alone always in solitude. Okay? It is not loneliness, it is solitude. Alone. Loneliness is different from solitude. Ekaki yata chittatma nirashir. No desires. Aparigraha. Doesn't accept anything, any reward or gift or anything from others. Shuchau deshe pratistapya. Seated in a very clean environment. Stiram asanam atmanaha. Like what I am sitting on a comfortable chair or a place where you can sit. Not chitram, not nicham. Should not be very high, like a mountain, or like a very low pit-like thing. Chaila ajina kushottaram. Chaila is cloth. Ajina is the mrigacharma, or the leather from a mriga. And kusha is the grass, the darbha grass. So to make it comfortable, we can have a cushioned chair also. Chailajana Kushatram is a comfortable cushioned place to sit. So what to do? Suchau deshe pratistapya. Be in a very clean environment for the dhyana. Stiram asanam atmanaha. Be very quietly seated. Not chutstram, not very high. Not inicham, not very low. Chailajina kushottaram, a comfortable, soft and cushiony part, so that you can sit for longer times. But then what you have to do? Samam kaya sirogrivam. Samam kaya sirogrivam. Kaya is the body, shira is the thought, the body activity, the thought process, and the griva, what you utter, should be in one line. There's an alignment of thought, word, and action. Samam kaya sirogrivam dharayannachalam stiram sampreksha nasikagram swam dishascha navalokayan. Not looking hither and thither. Means what? Not in a distracted way, be in a concentrated way. Then what you have to do during dhyana, or when you want to practice dhyana, yuktahara viharasya. Be very limited in the ahara and your vihara. Yukta chestasya karmasu. In the actions you take up, they must be very befitting for the purpose for which you are sitting. Yukta swapnavabodhasya. Sleep aptly and then be awake aptly. Don't be oversleeping. Don't be oversleepless like that. Yogo bhavati duhkaha yuktahara viharasya yukta chestasya karmasu yukta swapnavabodhasya yogo bhavati duhkaha. Sankalpa prabha. Then what you have to do? Sankalpa prabhavan kaman. There are a lot of sankalpas or thoughts, or the seeds of thoughts happen in the mind. Then kaman sarvan chektva aseshataha. Get rid of all your desire prompted this activity in the mind. Manashaiva indriyagramam viniyamya samantataha. With the mind, you restrain the indriyagramam, the group of your indriyas, the 5 motor organs, 5 sensor organs. Viniyamya, perfectly you control, bring them under your control. Samantataha. Then what we have to do? Shanai Paramed Buddhya Dhriti Grahitaya Atma Samstam Manakritva Nakinchidapi Chintayet. Not at once. Shanai, step by step, Paramed Buddhya, withdraw your mind from other activities. Dhriti Grahitaya, lot of dhriti, courage. Atma Samstam Manakritva. Focus the mind on the Atman, the inner self. Nakinchidapi chintayet. Don't think of anything else other than the focused attention. Yato nischarati manaschanchalamasstiram tatastato niyamyaiva tadatmanyeva vashannayet. Take a book, notebook, and write what are all the things that are distracting. Yato nischarati manaschanchalam astiram. Wherever my mind is wandering and going this side and that side, make a note of those things. Tatastato, those things one by one, niyamya atmanyeva. By yourself you restrain, and that list of all the distractions, cut one by one. Vasham, not by bhayet, nayet, by taming the mind, control all those things. Beautiful slokas. Sankalpa prabhavan kaman chektva sarvan naseshatah manasayvendriya gramam viniyamya samantatah shanai shanairuparamedh buddhya dhriti grahitaya atma samstam manah kritva na kinchidapi chintayet yato yato nischarati manas chenchalamasstiram tatastato niyamyaiva tadatmanyeva vashannayet. Prashantamana heram yoginam sukhamuttamam. The one with the calm and very quiet and serene mind, upaiti shanta rajasam. Upaiti will attain to shanta rajasam. All the activity, rajas is totally shantam. It has become, now they come to a knot. Brahma bhutam akalmasham. Brahmabhutam akalmasham upaiti rajasham shantal prashanta manasah henam yoginam sukhamuttamam upaiti shanta rajasham brahmabhutam akalmasham. Go to 6th chapter and read the Sankara Bhagavad Bhashya. It is available in English, all the Indian languages. Please get them and read that. Now, why I do the karma when dhyana is the marga to attain to the Lord or the Almighty, to understand that we are prescribed karma yoga. What is karma yoga? Karma yoga is for chitta suddhi, the purity of your mind through action. This is called karma yoga, nishkama karma. Bhagavan Ramana Maharishi's teachings come very handy in understanding what is karma yoga. Ishwararpitam nechayakritam chitta sodhakam mukti sadhakam. Very simple to look at, but very proper. Whatever you do, Ishwararpitam, do as though you are offering it to the Lord. Na ichayakritam. There is no desire involved at all in whatever action. What that will do? Chitta sodhakam. It cleanses the heart, cleanses the mind. Then what will happen? Will it give moksha? No. Mukti sadhakam. It is the stepping stone for the mukti. Karma yoga cannot promise the ultimate liberation. But karma yoga is the womb in which you have to be there and evolve out into the dhyana and the jnana. So suppose a child is there. How can the child be born without there being in the womb? The karma yoga is the womb through which you have to go and then come out of that, and then don't get stuck there in the womb. Come out into the world of jnana and world of dhyana. Again, I am reading this powerful verse. Ishwararpitam nechayakritam chitta sodhakam mukti sadhakam. Whenever you do an action, there are two things that happen. One is called the phalam, the other is called the prayojanam. What is phalam? Phalam is that will accrue to me, and prayojanam is that will accrue to the society. I'll take an example. An engineer is building a bridge. So whatever salary he gets, whatever perks he gets, is the phalam for constructing the bridge. What is the prayojanam? The prayojanam is the prayojan for the entire community there about the bridge. The sort of the reservoir they build and the irrigation channels, and people can cross over, transport the facility. All that is the prayojanam. In every action, two things are involved. A personal gain, which is the phalam, the samasti gain, or the universal benefit. That is called the prayojanam. Always when you do a karma, you must minimize the phalam and maximize the prayojanam. It's also called prayas and shreyas. Prayas is the phalam, shreyas is the prayojanam. Phalam and prayojanam should be always thought of. And one should give the prayojana more importance than the phala while undertaking. A doctor is there, he wants to see a patient. Of course, the patient gives some consultation or some operation charges. That is the phala. What is the prayojanam? The longer outcome that he gives to the patient, the better health, the quality of life, the quantity of life that is given to the patient is the prayojanam. So the karma will give you both phalam and prayojanam. Don't optimize the karma for phalam, but optimize the karma for prayojanam or samasti betterment or the universal improvement. This gives the purity of mind or chitta suddhi. Atmarupa, anatmarupa phalam is called kamana. Atmarupa phalam is the nishkama karma. Nishkama karma is karma yoga. When I do things for the community at large, for the universal concept I do, that is the nishkama karma. When I do for myself and optimize for myself, this is an anatmarupa phalam or the kamya karma. Kavyakanta Ganapati Muniji is a very renowned scholar. We can't call him as disciple of Ramana Maharshi. He is as powerful as Ramana Maharshi. And he has translated Bhagavan's works into beautiful Sanskrit. And Bhagavan has written them in Tamil and some Telugu also. But the English versions and the Sanskrit versions are made by Kavyakanta Ganapati. So there, Adhyatma Yogam, our Ramana Maharshi gives always emphasis to the Adhyatma Yoga. There are three things. Adhyatma, Adhibhuta, Adhidaiva. Adhyatma is the individual self. Adhibhuta is the world around. Adhidaiva is the divine power. So you can attain to the higher self through all the three methods. Adhyatma Yogam, Adhibhuta Yogam, Adhidaiva Yogam. I go and worship the Lord in Kashi Vishweshwara. He is Adhidaiva Yoga Marga. Adhibhuta, I worship the rain, I worship the cloud, I worship the sun, I worship the moon. Adhibhuta. Here, Adhyatma Yoga is the best yoga. For that, this Nididhyasana or Dhyana is required. In Kathopanishad 1-12, Adhyatma Yoga Adhigamena Devam. Adhyatma Yoga Adhigamena Devam Matva Thiro Harsha Sokau Jahati. Matva, not Kritva, by contemplating, by Nididhyasana, Dhiraha, the person who is doing this sort of dhyana is called the Dhira. How does he get it? Adhyatma Yoga Thirodena, Adhyatma Yoga Adhigamena Devam. Matva Thiro Harsha Sokau Jahati. It is not searching outside. Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi's focus is search within. It is not searching or realizing outside, which is Adhibhuta and Adhidaiva. Instead, search within, which is called the Adhyatma Yoga. Now, the fourth verse is the key for today's understanding. Kaya Vangmana Karyamuttamam Pujanam Japa Chintanam Kramat. The first three words, Kaya Vangmana, all three are one samasa. Kaya Vangmana. Kaya is the body, Vak is the speech, Mana is the mind. Karyam, the word, the action that is done. Action, Kaya Karyam, Vak Karyam, Manah Karyam. The action done with the body, action done with the word, action done with the mind. They are respectively called Kramat, last law, Kramat respectively. Kaya Karyam, or the offering that you do with the body is called Pujanam. Vak Karyam is called the Japa. Manah Karyam is called the Nididhyasana. Here he calls it as Chintanam. Out of them, which is the best one? Kaya Karyam or the Pujanam is Uttara. Ante this is good. Vak is Japa, is Uttara. That is second degree. Manaha Chintanam is the Uttamam, the superlative degree. So Kramat, in that order, the body worship that you do, from the bodily actions, the puja, कर्मणि outer षोडश पूजा ध्यानायामि आवाहयामि आसनं समर्पयामि पाद्यं समर्पयामि पत्रं समर्पयामि धूपं समर्पयामि. All these things are the base level of the power. Then the walk or the verbal prayer, the japa that you do is both inner and outer. For example, you chant Hanuman Chalisa in the mind, and then or you chant Ramanama, Sri Ram, Sri Ram, or you chant Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. It's both inner and outer. That is called the Vak Japa, or Vak verbal prayer, also called the Japa. Kaya is Pujanam, Vak is Japa, Manaha is contemplation in the mind, that is Chintanam, it is Manasa, inner. Among the three, he says Kramat. In that order, Uttamam, which is the best, the mana, contemplation, the mind is the highest. Contemplation is the superior. That contemplation is called Nididhyasana or Dhyana. Kaya Vangmana Karyamuttamam Pujanam Japa Chintanam Kramat. Fifth verse is even powerful, but we are not going into that. So this verse is again and again I am showing because you people will remember that. Kaya Vangmana Karyamuttamam Pujanam Japa Chintanam Kramat. Karma or the action or the phala, whatever you do with the body, the phalam that occurs, every action will have a fruit, I told you. That fruit will be either the phalam or the prayojanam. The phalam will always perish. And if you do one action, another action is ready, another tenfold actions are ready. It's multiplying. The karma never ends. Contemplation, on the other hand, dhyana has got long-lasting effect and it purifies the chitta sothakam. It purifies the chitta, the mind. Pujanam, external worship with the body, with the murti, with the rupa, with the akara, shivalinga, Vishnu vigraha, Gateshwara, sakara. It's the pujanam. Japa is with the speech. Maybe sakara, maybe nirakara. It can be japa about Ishvara, japa about Rama, japa about Hanuman, or it can be japa of the Omkara, or japa of the prana or pranopas. Whereas chintanam with the mind, better to make it nirakara. Don't try to keep, initially you may keep a focus or a murti or sakara, but ultimately you must come to contemplate on the nirakara, nirguna parabrahma. That is the uttam. Kaya vangmana karyamuttamam pujanam japa chintanam kramat. Karma or the action and the phalam, the perish and multiplying, they are about the outer world. Karma you cannot do inside. Action will be outside. Whereas contemplation or dhyana has got long-lasting and purified effect. It is more about the inner world. You may wonder what is there in the inner world. In fact, there is much more in the inner world of your mind than that is there in the outer world. For example, you don't have outer world USA here in this room, but in the inner world, I can see USA here. So the inner world is much larger. Dhyana interrupts the intense and manifold thinking in the mind. What happens? Mind is like a monkey. It will be jumping from tree to tree, thought to thought. Dhyana is one instrument which interrupts the intense and manifold thinking in the mind. This is about the dhyana or the power of dhyana. Dhyana puts an end to the pursuit of pleasures and happiness outside. We try to chase happiness and pleasures outside. In fact, the real happiness or ananda is our swarupa. So that we have to cultivate by doing the dhyana. Dhyana reduces the mental agitation and mental fever, mental fear and insecurity. All of us have mental fear and mental insecurity, and that is completely reduced by constant practice of nididhyasana or dhyana. Dhyana influences what? Dhyana influences my character. So what is character? It is called Seelam. In Telugu, there may be an equivalent word in Tamil and other languages too. Dhyana influences my character, the character of the person, because it brings in what is called equanimity. It brings in equanimity. Dhyana is very powerful and brings in inner transformation in the person. Information is no use. Information must become into a state of transformation. All the information from the books that you read, these should be transformed into action and practice. So what is the power of dhyana? Dhyana gives long-lasting, purifying effect in the inner world. Dhyana interrupts the intense and manifold thinking in the mind. Dhyana puts an end to the pursuits of pleasures and happiness, seeking them outside. Dhyana reduces the mental agitation and the insecurity and fear that we have. Dhyana influences the character of the person, and because it produces equanimity and ultimately equality. Dhyana is very powerful because it brings in inner transformation of all the knowledge, scriptural knowledge, the information you gathered. It will transform you into a person, a spiritual person. Now, dhyana intensifies single pointedness, or also called eka agrata. Eka agrata means there is a needle, there is a tip of the needle. So the tip, when you want to thread, the eye of the needle, what you do? You will focus on the eye and the tip of the thread. That is called ekagrata. How long you will do it? For a moment. After that, you don't require. But dhyana, continuously keeping that focus in a single pointed attention, is called ekagrata. Dhyana brings about that. Dhyana is also activity. Remember that dhyana is not passively sleeping or then putting at rest everything of the body. It is an intense activity. But what type of activity this is? This is sattvic activity. There are three types of activities. The karma is a rajoguna prathana, rajasic activity. Of course, it minimizes tamoguna. Contemplation intensifies the sattva guna and lessens the vikshepa or the distractions of the karma. So dhyana is a sattvic activity and gives mental strength, manobalam. Then dhyana reduces the inner compulsion to control the outer world. See, all of us have a compulsion that I would like to control everything around, all the factors around me. If possible at home, I want to control my children, control my wife, control my dog, control my servant. In the office, I would like to control people with whom I am working. And with everything, I would like to control outside, which is not possible. We will be a miserable failure if we try to control things around and world around, people around. You cannot control. The only thing that you can at best control, it's very difficult, that also is yourself. You can control within and not outside. Dhyana reduces your inner compulsion. Always you wanted to control outside, control the world and people and things. It's not possible. Dhyana removes that compulsion. Mental power is giving freedom. What is manobala? Manobala is giving freedom to people around, things around, and let go attitude. Mental power is giving freedom to people around and not try to hang on and hold on, mine and me concept. Then we require a very strong mind to accept unreality as unreality, mithya as mithya. We all know things that we have today are all perishable. The look I had when I am 16 years old is no more there. We age and ultimately we perish. We all know the reality, but we don't accept it. The whole life is a mithya. It is only a transitory passage, and we don't accept that. It requires a very strong mind, and this dhyana gives that matva thiro na sochati. A person who is contemplating and doing dhyana, he has nothing to think about this mithya world. To understand the unreality as unreal, dhyana enables what is called Satya Darshanam. Satya Darshanam. There is another beautiful book by Ramana Maharshi, which is called Shad Darshanam. Sat Darshanam. Sat is Satya, Sat Darshanam. We may be planning to do that as a sort of exercise and understanding and Adhyana, Shat Darshanam. Contemplation or Dhyana, watch the mind. What do you do here? Watch the mind as the Sakshi. You are not the mind. Just as you are not the hand, just as you are not the kidney, just as you are not the heart, mind is also, it's not you yourself. You are the Atman or the inner consciousness which watches the mind as an onlooker or Sakshi or the witness. Dhyana gives the power to watch the mind. Dhyana withdraws our attention from the outer world and all its plurality and associated sukha and dukkha. In Dhyana, what should I focus on? What should be the dhyayam? Dhyana, we may focus on the breath, which is called the prana, the pranayama, and through that the dhyana, or you can, what is called the tree meditation, a tree dhyana is there. Imagine a tree, and then how it has come and contemplate and all that, or imagine an idol, or better is the Om, Omkara, or better on the Akasha, the infinite space itself. Or you can have a Rupa also, there's nothing wrong. Initially, you can keep Rupa or idol, or a tree or breath, or Omkara, and ultimately, Nirakara Nirguna Parabrahma will be the focus of your Dhyana. Dhyana makes us experience the power of silence. In Dhyana, you don't speak. In Karma, you speak. In Japa, you speak. You don't use the the indriya of the mouth or the vocal cords at all. In Dhyana, it reduces all the disturbance, both mentally and physically. In Dhyana, we watch the mind as witness and get complete detachment with my mind. In Dhyana, what happens? I watch the mind as a witness and I'm away one step from the mind. So whatever happens in the mind, the sukha or the dukkha, raga or the dvesha or the dvandvas in the mind, I'm only a witness. I'm one step away from that, complete detachment. So these are the various powers of Dhyana and how you do about that. Again, I am repeating, it is a karma is rajoguna pradhana, Dhyana is sattva guna pradhana. Dhyana intensifies the ekagrata. Dhyana also sattvic activity. Dhyana reduces the inner compulsion to control the outer world. It gives mental power in giving freedom to people around and not try to control the people, accept the unreal as the real. And Dhyana also interrupts the intense and manifold thinking in the mind, puts an end to the pursuit of pleasures and happiness outside and seeking solutions outside. Dhyana reduces the mental agitation and mental fear and insecurity. Dhyana influences the character of a person and tell me your thoughts, and the thoughts will be your actions. Your actions tomorrow will be your habits. Your habits will be your character. That is what it is said. And true, Dhyana influences the character. Dhyana is very powerful, brings inner transformation in the person towards the Godhead. And accept that the unreality as unreal, understand the unreality as unreal. Dhyana enables Satya Darsana, contemplation of Dhyana, watch the mind as Sakshi. Dhyana withdraws our attention from the outer world and all its sukha and dukkha, all the dualities or the dvandva. In Dhyana, we may focus on the breath, on a tree, an idol, on Om, on space, on prana, or the Dhyana makes us experience the power of silence, both physical silence and mental silence. What is silence? Silence is absence of sound. It is nothing. What is silence? There is nothing like silence separate. If you remove the disturbance, there is silence is prevailing. With Dhyana, we watch the mind as the witness and get complete detachment. Purnoham, I am complete. Abhayoham, I am fearless. Akamoham, I am desireless. I am complete, fearless, desireless. He is the ultimate state which the Dhyana brings you. With it, our talk will go conclude. I am going to utter some Nididhyasana verses from Shankara Bhagavad Pada's Viveka Chudamani With that, we are going to end the talk. Jati niti kula gotra duragam nama rupa guna dosha varjitam देश काल विषयातिवर्ति यद् ब्रह्म तत्त्वमसि भावयात्मनि ब्रह्म तत्त्वमसि भावयात्मनि यत्परं सकलवागगोचरं गोचरं विमलबोधचक्षुष शुद्धचिद्घनमनादिवस्तु यत् ब्रह्म तत्त्वमसि भावयात्मनि षड्भिरुर्मिभिरयोगि योगि हृद्भावितं न करणैर्विभावितं बुद्ध्यवेद्यमनवद्यमस्ति यत् ब्रह्म तत्त्वमसि भवयात्मनि भ्रान्तिकल्पितजगत्कलाश्रयं स्वाश्रयं च सदसद्विलक्षणं निष्कलं निरुपमानमृद्धिमत् यद्ब्रह्म तत्त्वमसि भवयात्मनि एकमेव सदनेककारणं कारणान्तरनिरासकारणं कार्यकारणविलक्षणं स्वयं ब्रह्म तत्त्वमसि भवयात्मनि. Like this, there are hundreds and hundreds of meditation verses or nididhyasana verses. One can choose from any book, either by Shankara or other great saints like Vijayananda Swamy, and meditate on those things. Sadasiva Brahmendra Swamy, any great saint has got several nididhyasana verses. I have just amplified for you from Viveka Chudamani some nididhyasana verses. And let us end with the prayer. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.